So today I'm talking about NFTs. What are NFTs and what's their role that they're playing? And uh, so we can start understanding this. These are some of the other applications that come from blockchain. So obviously blockchain is producing currencies, new types of currencies, but it's also producing lots of other things as well. And one of them is NFTs, which stands for non-fungible tokens. So we'll sort of delve into what they are and why they're important. And it's very early days for NFTs, but the more that we can understand the breadth and depth of what blockchain can do, the more that we will start seeing how this is going to be very far-reaching. And NFTs really reach up into tokenization of assets. So first we've got to understand what the difference is between fungible and non-fungible. What does fungible and non-fungible mean? So fungible it relates to traditional fiat currency. It relates to gold or silver coins and cryptocurrencies as well. And basically, fungible means it's ubiquitous. It means it's commonplace. It means that my dollar in my pocket is the same value as the dollar in your pocket, and they can be replicated. And it's the same with gold and silver. An ounce of gold or silver will be worth the same no matter who is holding it. So fungible means it's kind of everywhere, and they're all of a parity of value, basically. And this is one of the pillars of what makes money or makes a currency. That they have to be fungible, and like same with Bitcoin, the same with any of the cryptos. One Bitcoin in my wallet is the same as in value as the Bitcoin in your wallet. So it's basically replicated digitally as well as also physically. Whereas non-fungible means it's a unique one-off, is only one of these non-fungible tokens. They are purely digital in nature, and it's an application or an offshoot of the blockchain. So NFTs have really only been born when the blockchain was born. And they have come out of the Ethereum platform. And because Ethereum is a smart contract platform, and so it's not just housing or transacting in currencies. The smart contract has enabled digital contracts to come into play. And then through tweaking the code, the original code, we start getting all these other things that you can use, that you can create out of blockchain. So it's kind of like mushrooms popping up out of the field. The blockchain is creating an evolution of this whole digital space. And these NFTs are going to have a big impact. And so it's kind of like how the code is so pliable that you can start creating all these new things that we never even had before. And so that shows the adaptability and flexibility of this type of coding, this kind of cryptography and mathematical code is creating all these brand new things. So there's a very close association between NFTs and tokenization. So we'll kind of explore the two a little bit. But NFTs, the concept of NFTs, as I understand it, came first. And then when NFTs started coming out, then the concept of tokenization then closely followed. And tokenization is the process of converting physical or virtual assets into digital units on the blockchain. So that's what it is. It's basically digitizing real world assets and putting them on the blockchain. And these tokens can be replicated, which means they are fungible. They can be made fungible and replicated everywhere. So in the process of tokenization, first there is the digitization of the actual asset. That's where they're turning they're giving a digital signature to the actual asset involved. Like say it's property, then they turn that property into a digital code first. Then they create a token out of that as well. Or they might be using existing tokens or crypto that have already been created, and then they marry them up. And then that gives you the ability to move or dispose of the asset or to buy the asset. Then they attach what they call metadata. So this is the other key thing about blockchain is it's not just moving money. It's not purely just transacting money. It can also deal in data as well. And so metadata it's basically all the other, it's information basically that comes with that asset. So it gives you, like if it's your property, it's the location of the property, it's the dwelling, all the details of the dwelling, what's the land size, all the things that you could probably get in a title can come with this metadata. And then the tokenized asset is then verified on the blockchain. And then when you want to, you can then transfer ownership on the blockchain. And that means that it's very easy to dispose of, to buy and sell. And it basically a transaction can happen as quickly as you send money. And the other thing about tokenization is it can give you fractional ownership of an asset like a property, or property developers now are starting to look at blockchain for fractional ownership of of land that they're dividing up and subdividing, and they can offer it in a tokenized form as well. So groups of people could effectively go in together in shares in a block of land, or a group could go in shares in an apartment or a house or a hotel or whatever it is. So basically, that is quite a big advancement. It gives regular people the chance to at least get a share of the assets that normally only the more wealthy could own, because they own it outright. This gives a lot more flexibility. It's going to create a lot more liquidity in the market as well. There's going to be a lot more transacting going on because of this. And more transacting that's going on, the more buying and selling, the more moving of assets around, the more crypto that is going to be in circulation, which means more liquidity, which means more value in the tokens that we hold that are using that or employing that transactability. So this is it's going to create a lot more flow ultimately in the marketplace. There'll be a lot more smaller transactions, especially when the unbanked and the poorer people get on board. When people in India and South America and and in the West, there's going to be a lot more participation, I think, in this economy that's coming. So that's basically giving you an idea of tokenization. And look, the development of tokenized assets is happening at pace. It's happening at the top. It's happening with BlackRock. It's happening with Vanguard. All the big boys, all the big hedge funds, State Street, some of the really big banks, the big commercial banks, they are all developing and researching, or so at least researching, but many of them are already developing their own tokenized products. Different share markets are looking at tokenizing the shares, the current existing shares. And so eventually this sort of existing stock market system and the blockchain is going to merge, and eventually everything will get tokenized and put on the blockchain. And eventually the old system won't be recognizable. It'll be completely consumed, I think, by this new blockchain way of doing things. But that could take many years. But there's going to be a hybrid system. There's going to be two kind of systems running side by side, and a bit of a mixture of both. In some areas, there'll be a hybrid. In other areas, it will still operate as a traditional system. And then in other areas, it'll be a purely blockchain-based system. But eventually, the blockchain will completely consume the old system, as I think probably got a decade of that before all the money and all the assets eventually get pulled into the blockchain. But also, as well as happening at the very top, it's also happening at the very bottom, if you like, at the development level, with many different projects, many different developers and smaller businesses are also exploring tokenization and developing tokenization. So there's really an opportunity there for smaller businesses to reinvent themselves as well. They could tokenize their business, and it means that then those businesses could then offer shareholding to their community. Effectively, like we've even thought about it with, you've heard about crowdfunding and that sort of thing. Crowdfunding became very big. Well, basically, I think we're going to see a tokenized type crowdfunding, and DeFi Freedom, we could actually decide to tokenize our own, our business, and people could buy, if they wanted to, buy shares in our business, and then we share the ownership, we share the revenues, and this is what a lot of grassroots movements are looking at, is that we become community-based shares, and co-op. It's going to be creating like a digital cooperative type arrangement. And so that's the real two extremes are going to go head to head. And eventually I think that the centralized version will eventually get consumed with decentralized. At least that's what I see and what I hope will happen. That's obviously going to take, a few more years yet, but at least we can start now. So that's kind of tokenization, whereas NFTs are kind of similar. They are a tokenization of a type of asset, you could say, but because of their non-fungibility, they are a unique cryptographic token. They are a type of token, hence non-fungible token. So they're kind of like, and those tokens represent the value of the thing that that they're creating. So it's I'll go into show you the different things of how they're doing it. So it's basically exists on the blockchain. Every NFT has its own unique code, and they're extremely secure. These NFTs are extremely secure. I had my own experience where I had my computer got hacked, and I had some money in a wallet on my computer, on my extension wallet, and it was a bit of B&B. It was about one B&B, so it was not a huge amount. But I also had a few NFTs in there, and they took the currency out, but they couldn't take the NFT. The NFT did disappear from my wallet, and so I thought I'd lost them. But then when I did a bit of research, I was able to key in my code, and then they came back. And so they weren't able to be stolen. So that I thought that was a really good indication of what they can do. So they couldn't steal my NFTs, but they can take the crypto out of my wallet. That's because they were in my computer, and they knew while I had my wallet open, that's when they grabbed it. If the wallet had been closed, they wouldn't have been able to get in there unless they'd had my password, and I didn't have my password on my computer. So that's how they got it, is waited until I was online. So yeah, so when it comes to the NFTs, apart from being super secure and super private, their applications or their use cases are wide and varied. They're making them into collectibles, like digital collectibles. So we have, like, you have all old movies, comic strips, different TV shows that used to be on. Like I've got an NFT of the DeLorean car from Back to the Future. If some of you remember that movie, Back to the Future, with what's his name? The little I forget his, quite a famous actor who got Parkinson's disease and dropped out early. And remember the older guy, Doc, I think they called him Doc. Anyway, I've got an NFT of that car, and they've got NFTs throughout all the different sort of comics, Superman, all that, Spider-Man, all the different TV shows over the years, a lot of all the key ones. So you can literally get a NFT and they can be in 3D as well, which is quite cool. Artwork, people making their own artwork, digital artwork. Some of these artworks have sold for millions and millions of dollars. In the early rush and the early gold rush of the NFTs, they were so new. Some of them were selling for exorbitant amounts of money. Then you've probably heard of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. and they're making NFTs out of apes and different animals, cats and dogs, you name it. People are making their own, or they've got existing artwork that they then turn into an NFT, and people keep it as a collectible. Music clips as well. A lot of people are putting their songs as an NFT, and you can literally play the song through the NFT. Text. You can have an NFT of a website address. You can have an NFT of your article, of a post. I've made NFTs out of some of the early Twitter posts of some of the more well-known people. You could even put a book. You can even write a book and put it in an NFT and sell it that way as well. So what NFTs is really good at as well, it's like a proof of ownership. It's like a certificate of title, if you like. It's a certificate of ownership. You can use it as like a membership badge or a proof of investment, that sort of thing. You can use them as digital vouchers or giveaways. Some of the bigger takeaway outlets, like Burger King and I think Starbucks were doing it as well. Some of these companies are starting to giving away NFTs if they buy, a certain amount of their product. You could do it that way. So yeah, it's literally like a voucher, and it might give them some freebies that they can unlock, that sort of thing, or it might give them even like a free meal or whatever, or it might even give them access to certain tokens or whatever. It's sort of like a digital key that you can use as well to unlock other gifts. You can use the NFT or the concept of NFT because it's unique and we're unique. It can be used as a kind of proof of ownership. Proof of identity. You could effectively make your ID into an NFT, which is really really interesting. And they are doing it in a decentralized way as well. They call them DID, decentralized ID. So NFTs are really the forerunner to decentralized identification. And it could have it could have your passport number, your driver's license, all your basic details, your address, but it could even hold things like your health data. All of that sort of stuff could go on there, or you basically all your personal stuff, your marital status and your address and everything. They could use them like a kind of passport in times to come to travel and stuff like that. I mentioned about proof of investment or proof of your membership to something. We're members of Sixth Society, an investment type group, and we get an NFT as proof of that. They're using them now. They're looking at it for ticketing or to concerts, movies, whatever, plays, whatever. It is now NFTs and ticketing is becoming really big. And I think Ticketmaster and some of the big ones now they're basically having to look at going that direction themselves. So everything is getting pulled that way. And there's new companies springing up on the blockchain that are looking at ticketing. And then a very important one is intellectual property as well. Intellectual property, our IP. You could effectively make a NFT out of, say, something that you've invented. They could say put the details to, say, a free energy device in an NFT and things like that. You could protect, copyright protect your invention or your ideas or your formulas for, like Einstein came up with his E equals MC squared. I mean, you could put the calculations of that, in theory, into an NFT. There's lots of use cases for NFTs. And I think we're just going through the process now where a lot of people are now getting exposed to this idea from, from the halls of power right down to grassroots. And everybody's looking at how they can use them for their own purposes. So there's obviously going to be, there'll be always some that will try and subvert, subvert the process. So you can't stop that. But as long as people keep innovating, and the more that we sharing this information, the more we're adopting the information, the harder it is for them to stop. And that's always been my thesis with decentralized finance, is they can't stop it when too many people are already in it. All they can do is try and join and try and basically participate as well. So now that we've kind of given you a bit of an idea of that, what I can do is I can show you how these NFT marketplaces, and you can actually shop. You got these shopping areas for these NFTs, and we can go in and have a look at what they're actually doing there. So just bear with me, and I can actually do it live. So this web address, is a DApp, and effectively it's a DApp. It's a website, but it's a decentralized application. That's what a DApp is it means decentralized app, but really they are like a website. And this is one of the big early ones, is called OpenSea. OpenSea have become the biggest NFT marketplace, and they're making an obscene amount of money. They're making a huge amount of money, these guys. So there's definitely a lot in it. And if you start looking down, you see that these are sort of people's artwork. So these are selling for 1.09 ETH, which is about $2,800 US. This, I think, is probably coming out of, I'd say this is coming out of, well, I'm not sure, but farmland. It's obviously there's a lot of them, so not sure where they come, but you see the prices going up, 2.5, 3. So they're trading in Ethereum as one of the main currencies for NFTs, because the Ethereum blockchain basically got a monopoly at the moment on NFTs. Well, not a full monopoly, but they're the biggest ones. So you see this one is it's selling for 29 ETH. This one's 50 ETH. So I don't know why they're much more expensive, but they are. And it's even 60 ETH. That's a lot of money. 60 times 2,500 US. What's that? That's a lot. And look, if I keep going, I mean, there's something like 5,000 of them in here. Yeah, I don't go into this site very often, so I don't really know my way around it. But this is this is one of the places where you can go. And what you can do is you can connect your wallet. So if I go up to the top, it should have connect wallet somewhere. And this is how you buy and sell it. You use your wallet to pay someone, and then you'll use your wallet to if you purchase the NFT, then you can literally put them into your MetaMask wallet or into your what they call a Web3 wallet. So if I click on login, see connect to MetaMask, then I'll just put so yeah, so you just connect your wallet. Just do the usuals. Always have to do the signing if you want to get in. And you see up here now it's got 0.015 ETH. That means it's connected my wallet. And so theoretically, if I wanted to purchase one of these, if I had say 1.06 ETH in my wallet, I could then just click on that and buy now. And with your wallet open, that can then grab the money, and it's all done completely decentralized. And then that NFT will end up in your wallet. You can hold NFTs as well as tokens in your MetaMask. You see here in the middle, it's got NFTs. And these are some NFTs that I am holding currently. I've got a few of these. I've made an NFT of our company name, DeFi Freedom. This is my NFT of my membership to Six Society. That was last year's one. And I've got some NFTs of some web addresses as well. So I've got my own name, tonyknight.crypto. It's pretty unique. Another one of my company names is called Earth Star, so I've just called it Earth Star Seeds. Yeah, so there's different web addresses that you can capture now on a web address called Unstoppable Domains. You can reserve them, just like how people were reserving .coms and .net and .org websites in the early days of the internet. People are doing that with these blockchain websites or dApps as well, and you can reserve that web address, and that web address will be able to receive and send money. When you link your wallet to that, then you can give theoretically you give your wallet address. You give the web address out to people who want to pay you, and then the money will come into your wallet via your web address. So that's where it's all going. Websites are all going to be decentralized on the blockchain, and that's another connection to the NFT. So yeah, so basically that's OpenSea. There's tons of others. There's this one called Rarible as well. And I can connect my wallet to that as well, just by doing the same thing. It can also connect to Phantom. Phantom wallet is a Solana wallet, whereas MetaMask is an Ethereum wallet. Two competitors. So I just choose MetaMask, and then you do the usual signing in process. And yeah, effectively I could buy or sell a NFT on this site now. These monkeys, the bored apes and the monkeys are quite popular as an NFT. So you see on here we've got tons of different ones. Oh, you can use video as well. You can make an NFT out of a video. So you've got tons of different types here. You've got all sorts of stuff in here. These type of NFTs were some of the early ones. They make them into this sort of digital image. So some of these are not for sale by the looks. So I don't know why they've got them up there, but anyway. Interesting. Yeah, so I'll just go somewhere else. E-Gen cars, I don't know what that is. So there are different types of cars. These are probably being created. A lot of them get created using AI. Some of them are people's own drawings, and then they turn them into a digital artwork. Yeah, so you get the picture. A lot of artwork stuff, but a lot of them. I think there's only a certain select few that sell well. There's a lot of them that just don't go anywhere. They don't really sell at this point. I think the use case as a collectible, yeah, I think a lot of them will just sit, to be honest. There'll be a lot of competition. Yeah, but some of the other use cases, as for ID and proof of ownership, ticketing, I see that's where NFT's future is going. But they got to start somewhere. And look, a lot of people made a lot of money out of the NFTs in the beginning. If you caught it at the very beginning, people were paying ridiculous amounts of money for these NFTs, thinking they're going to be the next big thing. And then, of course, the cycle ends and people's attention goes on to something else. And then NFTs just sort of slump as things do when you get all these different fads within here. Yeah, so the idea is just to give you bring you in touch with what an NFT is. You're going to come across it at some stage, so you might as well get to know about it now. See, they've got these Batman stuff and all sorts of different things. So yeah, so basically that also gives you a bit of an idea of how to connect. You're connecting your wallet to a dApp. That's also very, good for you to know. If you like, I'll also, I thought I'll go into the unstoppable domains and I'll show you where you get the web addresses. I don't know why it brought me to that. Oh. This is the website here. Web3 domains. One-stop shop for on-chain domain names. And that way you get to own your identity in the digital world. So especially if people have got a business or you're creating products online, could be really useful if you're a influencer, a creator, a business person, or a collectible hobby or whatever. I mean, uh, you could create anything you want. So I could come up with a name. My name, Cryptone, one of my nicknames. I think I actually hold one of these. See, you got all these different domain names. Like I could buy Cryptone.x, Cryptone.nft, .wallet, .polygon, .pudgy, .com, and yeah, there's a whole heap of them there. So I have Cryptone.crypto as mine, and I think I've got Cryptone.blockchain as well. But if I wanted to, I could buy all these up, maybe one day. But yeah, so that sort of, and these are unique, and then they'll give you access to the blockchain, which is really cool because then when you're in the blockchain using this kind of web address, you've got the same security as you've got with your money. You've got the same security as you've got that decentralized blockchain gives you. And so eventually we'll be operating in a completely decentralized environment end to end, no matter what we're doing. We're just starting now with the money and the banking is changing, but eventually I think centralized areas are going to go completely. But it's not going to all happen at once. So if you're interested in securing yourself a domain name for your businesses are going on the blockchain. This is where the transacting will happen. This is where we'll be able to buy and sell and send and receive, do your e-commerce, sell your products or just have an informational site. And then eventually, and you'll be able to have your NFTs there as well. And, basically you can do whatever you want. Whatever we do on the websites now, we can do on our blockchain websites or dApps, but with a whole lot more. I mean, you could instantly, people could instantly pay you. You could pay someone else as well. You could basically use your web address as a way to receive money and pay money, as well as transfer assets and, everything else that we do in the blockchain space. So yeah, so that's basically I think that's basically the gist of what I wanted to say today. So just go back to stop the share. If anyone's got any questions, I'll just have a look in the chat. Yes, Michael J. Fox, that's right. Michael J. Fox was the guy in Back to the Future and became it was quite a cool series of movies, that one. NFT as in copyright your design or patent invention, exactly, Finn. Yeah, absolutely. You could preserve, the whole patent thing is just being completely subverted. Our intellectual property is getting stolen all the time. So we have to secure our personal not just our personal data, but our personal inventions, and protect it using things like NFTs. In your world, they're actually very popular as well in the fashion industry and in that area, in the area you're in. So some of your designs, if they're unique to you, you can make an NFT out of it and your designs. And then, yes, so there's nothing stopping you doing that. But also in the fashion industry, the fashion game, they might create a one-off type of outfit, and then they will create an NFT with it, and then they give people these, when you're buying some of these kind of custom-made clothes, they're hugely expensive usually. And then they can, there's some places where they'll give you an NFT as well of it, or something else that's related. Yeah, so is there any other questions to that? Yeah, welcome. So really what we're looking at here is we're getting a peek into the future of how things might operate. That's sort of what has always fascinated with me, is to be able to be seeing the future before the future actually comes, because we're on the cusp of such radical change. And the thing is, the change is going to come very, very quickly, around the time that the system breaks to a certain point, when the money system gets to the point where it's irrecoverable and there's point of no return. Then the new system will sweep in, and then that system is going to be the foundation for not just a new way of transacting, but a whole new way of social interaction, especially when the metaverse gets launched out into mainstream, and when you've got all your assets getting tokenized, we've got crypto everywhere. When fiat money eventually dies, we're going to be operating in a completely new reality. And if our reality is secured by, well, I say if our ownership of our assets and our money and our data is secured using decentralized means, decentralized ID and all of that, then we can truly create communities that are going to be far safer to interact with than what we've got now. Even though it might be we'd say a more all-encompassing digital world, the whole world is going fully digital anyway. So we have to find a way to operate within that's safe. Otherwise, your data, your money is very unsafe in when we're fully digitized. So that's what's important to me, is that we have to get a understanding of what might be coming, so that we can prepare and position ourselves accordingly. And in doing that, because we are early, mistakes are going to get made. We're going to have problems with authorities. We are going to have problems like many of us have and are having now with banks and all this, because they're hanging on to the old ways. They're hanging on for dear life for as long as they can. And so we kind of almost have to see this as par for the course. We almost have to just accept that they are going to do everything they can to stop us. So we just have to kind of keep persisting and keep collaborating together and uniting and researching and building our knowledge, so we will find other loopholes and other ways around these problems, because many of us are right behind us also trying to do the same. So we're not alone here. There's 600 million people in crypto now, and there's a lot of people wanting to come in, but it's difficult for them to come in. It's much more difficult coming into crypto now than it was even 2, 3 years ago. But 9 years ago when I was looking at it, it was like a breeze. We could do whatever we want, buy and sell. But in those days, it was also, we didn't understand what was going on. We didn't even know it was going to survive. I didn't know if crypto was going to actually come this far. But now that it has come this far, it's getting adopted mainstream. There's no stopping it now. So we might skin our knees and lose a bit of here and there, and we're going to be pulling our hair out and getting frustrated. But the fact is, the inevitable is coming. Nothing can stop this advent of blockchain. So we just think about all those people that don't have a clue how they're going to fare. I mean, we think we're having a hard time. Think about the 93 or 94% of the world who have no idea of this. Just try and put yourself in someone else's shoes, and then we maybe think we're not so bad off because we're getting early to something that's going to be huge. So yeah, so basically having said that, I think basically is all I have.